Hey, Patriots fans! We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved New England Patriots. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. This way, you'll stay updated and never miss any breaking news or exclusive content. There is a growing buzz swirling around the league, and it feels like one of those stories that starts as a whisper but quickly turns into something much bigger, something that demands attention. The idea of Jeffrey Simmons reinforcing the defensive line of the Patriots is the kind of rumor that instantly sparks debate among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. You can almost picture it already, that imposing presence lining up in the trenches, bringing a mix of power, explosiveness, and raw intensity that could completely reshape the identity of a defense searching for a new edge. People are starting to connect the dots, looking at the Patriots' recent need for more dominance up front. And Simmons suddenly becomes more than just a name. He becomes a possibility, a vision of what could be if the pieces fall into place. And while nothing has been confirmed, the chatter continues to grow louder, fueled by speculation and that unmistakable sense that something might be brewing behind the scenes, something that could shift the balance in ways few expected. What makes this rumor even more intriguing is the timing and the context surrounding the Patriots organization. There has been a clear sense that the team is looking to reestablish its defensive identity, to return to that hard-nosed, physically imposing style that once defined them. Bringing in a player like Simmons would not just be about adding talent, it would be about sending a message. It would signal a commitment to dominance in the trenches, to controlling the line of scrimmage in a way that forces opponents to rethink their entire approach. And as people around the league begin to speculate, there is a growing belief that this kind of move would align perfectly with what the Patriots have been quietly building. You can almost imagine the internal conversations, the strategic planning, the careful evaluation of how a player like Simmons could fit into their system. It is not just about one player. It is about the ripple effect his presence could have across the entire defense. Fans, of course, are already diving deep into what this could mean on the field, and the excitement is palpable. The thought of pairing Simmons with the existing defensive pieces creates a scenario that feels both intimidating and thrilling. There is a sense that his ability to disrupt plays, collapse pockets, and dominate one-on-one matchups could elevate everyone around him. Linebackers would benefit from cleaner lanes. Edge rushers might find more opportunities, and the secondary could see quarterbacks under constant pressure. It becomes a chain reaction, a domino effect that transforms the defense from solid to potentially elite. And while it is still just speculation, the imagination of the fan base is running wild, painting pictures of key moments, crucial stops, and game-changing plays that could define a new era for the team. This is what rumors like this do. They create possibilities that feel almost real. At the same time, there is an undercurrent of skepticism that adds another layer to the story. Some observers are questioning whether such a move would actually materialize, pointing to the complexities involved in bringing in a player of Simmons' caliber. There are financial considerations, roster dynamics, and the ever-present challenge of making everything align perfectly. Yet, even with those doubts, the rumor refuses to fade. If anything, it continues to gain traction, fueled by the idea that bold moves often come when they are least expected. The Patriots have a history of surprising the league, of making decisions that initially raise eyebrows, but ultimately make sense within their broader vision. That history only adds fuel to the speculation, making people wonder if this could be another one of those moments where the unexpected becomes reality. Another fascinating aspect of this developing story is how it reflects the broader trends within the league. Defensive lines have become increasingly important, with teams prioritizing players who can disrupt the rhythm of modern offenses. Simmons fits that mold perfectly, bringing a blend of size, strength, and athleticism that is highly coveted. If the Patriots are indeed exploring this possibility, it would place them firmly in line with that trend, emphasizing the importance of building from the inside out. It also raises questions about how other teams might respond, how they would adjust their strategies if such a move were to happen. The ripple effects would extend far beyond one roster, influencing matchups, game plans, and even the perception of the Patriots as a rising defensive force once again. As the rumor continues to circulate, it is impossible to ignore the sense of anticipation that comes with it. There is something captivating about the unknown, about the idea that behind closed doors, decisions are being considered that could reshape the future of a franchise. Whether this ultimately becomes reality or remains a tantalizing what-if, it has already captured the imagination of many. The thought of Jeffrey Simmons in a Patriots uniform is more than just a rumor. It is a storyline that speaks to ambition, strategy, and the ever-evolving nature of the league. And as long as the speculation persists, fans and analysts alike will continue to watch closely, waiting for any sign, any hint that this could be more than just talk, that it could be the beginning of something significant. Now, as we dive deeper into the layers of this speculation, it becomes clear that the potential impact goes beyond just the physical presence on the field. Simmons is not just known for his strength and explosiveness, but also for his intensity and leadership qualities, traits that can influence the culture of a locker room. If the Patriots are indeed considering this move, they are not just thinking about statistics or individual performance, they are thinking about identity. There is a certain attitude that comes with players like Simmons, a relentless approach that can become contagious, spreading throughout the team and raising the overall level of competitiveness. This is the kind of intangible factor that often gets overlooked, but can make a significant difference over the course of a season. It is about setting a tone, about establishing a mindset that resonates in every practice and every snap. There is also the strategic dimension to consider, the way a player like Simmons could be utilized within the Patriots' defensive schemes. Coaches would have the flexibility to move him around, to create mismatches, to exploit weaknesses in opposing offensive lines. This versatility adds another layer to the intrigue, as it opens up a range of possibilities in terms of how the defense could evolve. It is not just about plugging in a player and expecting results. It is about maximizing his skill set in a way that enhances the entire unit. The thought of creative alignments, unexpected pressures, and disruptive interior play becomes a central theme in this speculation. It paints a picture of a defense that is not only strong but also adaptable, capable of adjusting to different situations and keeping opponents off balance. Meanwhile, the reaction from around the league adds even more fuel to the conversation. Rival teams would undoubtedly take notice of such a move, recognizing the potential shift in dynamics that it could bring. There would be adjustments, counter-strategies, and a renewed focus on how to handle a reinforced Patriots defensive front. This is where the rumor starts to take on a life of its own, influencing not just one team, but the broader competitive landscape. It becomes a talking point in locker rooms, a subject of analysis on various platforms, and a source of both excitement and concern depending on the perspective. The idea that one move could have such wide-ranging implications is part of what makes this story so compelling. Of course, there is always the human element, the question of how Simmons himself would fit into the Patriots' environment. Adapting to a new system, building chemistry with new teammates, and embracing a different organizational culture are all factors that would come into play. Yet, there is a sense that his style of play and mentality could align well with what the Patriots value. This alignment is often a key factor in determining whether a move like this would succeed or fall short. It is not just about talent, it is about fit, about finding the right balance between individual ability and team dynamics. This aspect adds another layer of depth to the speculation, making it more than just a simple transaction and turning it into a complex narrative. As the story continues to unfold, it also highlights the unpredictable nature of the league, where rumors can quickly turn into reality or fade away just as fast. This unpredictability is part of what keeps fans engaged, constantly speculating and analyzing every piece of information that emerges. The possibility of Simmons joining the Patriots fits perfectly into this dynamic, offering a scenario that is both plausible and exciting. It keeps people guessing, debating, and imagining what could be, creating a sense of ongoing anticipation that is hard to ignore. And even if nothing ultimately comes of it, the discussion itself becomes a significant part of the experience, a reminder of how stories like this capture the imagination. In the end, what we are witnessing is more than just a rumor. It is a narrative that encapsulates the essence of the sport, the constant evolution, the strategic maneuvering, and the endless possibilities. The idea of Jeffrey Simmons reinforcing the Patriots' defensive line represents a convergence of talent, ambition, and speculation that resonates on multiple levels. It is a story that invites us to think about what could happen, how it might unfold, and what it would mean for everyone involved. And as long as the whispers continue, as long as the possibility remains alive, this is a storyline that will keep drawing attention, fueling conversations, and sparking the kind of excitement that only the unknown can bring. And just when it feels like the speculation might start to cool down, a new wave of discussion seems to reignite everything, pushing this rumor into even deeper territory. There are now voices suggesting that this potential move would not only impact the defensive side of the ball, but could also reshape how the Patriots approach the game as a whole. With a dominant force like Jeffrey Simmons anchoring the line, the team might lean more heavily into a physical, controlling style, one that emphasizes winning battles in the trenches and dictating the tempo from the very first snap. That kind of shift would not happen overnight, but the presence of a player like Simmons could accelerate that transformation in a way that feels both deliberate and organic. It becomes less about reacting to opponents and more about imposing a clear identity, something that has always been a hallmark of the most successful teams in the league. At the same time, there is a growing curiosity about how this move, if it were to happen, would influence the development of younger players on the roster. Having someone with Simmons' level of experience and intensity could serve as a powerful example, a benchmark for what it means to compete at the highest level. Young defensive linemen, in particular, might find themselves learning not just from coaching, but from observing the way Simmons prepares, the way he studies opponents, and the way he approaches each play with relentless focus. This kind of mentorship is often difficult to quantify, but its impact can be profound, shaping careers and elevating the overall standard within the team. It adds another dimension to the rumor, turning it into a story about growth and development as much as immediate impact. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There is also the question of how fans would embrace such a move, and all signs point to an overwhelming surge of excitement. Supporters have been craving a new defensive cornerstone, someone who can embody the toughness and resilience that they associate with the team's most successful eras. The idea of Simmons stepping into that role feels almost tailor-made for that expectation, creating a connection between past traditions and future ambitions. Social media discussions, fan forums, and casual conversations are already filled with hypothetical scenarios, with people imagining key defensive stands, momentum-shifting plays, and the kind of energy that a player like Simmons could bring to the stadium. It becomes more than just a roster move. It becomes a source of renewed belief and anticipation. Meanwhile, analysts continue to dissect every angle, looking for clues that might indicate whether this rumor has any real substance behind it. Some point to subtle hints in interviews. Others analyze roster moves and financial flexibility, trying to piece together a narrative that either supports or challenges the speculation. This constant analysis only adds to the intrigue, turning the story into a kind of puzzle that everyone is trying to solve. And while definitive answers remain elusive, the process of exploring these possibilities becomes a story in itself, highlighting the depth of interest and the level of engagement that surrounds a potential move of this magnitude. It shows just how much one player can influence the conversation across the entire league. Ultimately, what keeps this rumor alive is the sense that it fits, that it aligns with a broader vision that people can almost see taking shape. Whether it is the need for a stronger defensive presence, the desire to establish a clear identity, or the opportunity to bring in a player who embodies the qualities the team values, everything seems to point in a direction that makes this speculation hard to dismiss. It lingers in the background, gaining momentum with each passing discussion, refusing to fade away. And until there is a clear resolution, one way or the other, it will continue to capture attention, fueling debates and keeping fans on edge, waiting to see if this bold and fascinating possibility will finally become reality. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.